State parks, though not entirely ruined, are heavily tarnished. My husband and I visited 2 different state parks this weekend, and I was horrified by what we saw. Dog poop, dirty diapers, water bottles, and food wrappers were scattered along nearly every trail we hiked. And for the love of all things good, nobody wants to hear your music. Wear headphones, you inconsiderate people. The environment. We should have taken action to combat climate change a long time ago. We've been aware of the problem since 1938. Social media. It spreads misinformation because people click and share without thinking. I'll start with essential oils. They smell amazing, reduce anxiety and stress, and can even help treat fungal infections. Unfortunately, anti-vaxxers and crunchy moms have turned them into a supposed cure-all for every problem on the planet. Painkillers. People with legitimate health conditions are left suffering because doctors hesitate to prescribe life-improving medication, all thanks to addicts abusing it to get high. My city introduced a bike-sharing program, which was a fantastic idea for students and young people. Within 3 days, yes, 3, all of the bikes were either stolen or severely vandalized. Nature, including forests and oceans, is being destroyed. The Internet's vast potential for knowledge has been tainted by the spread of misinformation. Driving isn't completely ruined, but it could be far safer and more enjoyable if not for reckless and irresponsible drivers. Every app insists on enabling push notifications. No, I don't want my phone buzzing all day. YouTube was once a fun, informative, and entertaining platform. Voting should require passing a basic civics test. Ignorance is undermining democracy, with elected officials increasingly reflecting anger and division rather than progress and shared goals. Gas cans. More fuel spills today than ever before due to poorly designed safety cans. The new spouts might work okay for cars, but who uses gas cans for cars? People use them for motorcycles, lawnmowers, and other small engines. But the awkward long spouts don't fit properly into small tanks, leading to spills and inefficiency. Public parks have been ruined by vandalism and littering. Phones, email, and mail were once excellent tools for communication. Now, thanks to the overwhelming volume of spam and scams, they've become frustrating and unpleasant to use. Reddit, and honestly, most online forums, has become exhausting. I just want to talk about jigsaw puzzles and guitars without being insulted. Google search used to feel revolutionary compared to clunky alternatives like Ask Jeeves. Now, results are dominated by companies that pay the most to Google, followed by those that invest heavily in SEO strategies. Online reviews were once a valuable tool for helping consumers make informed choices and businesses improve. Unfortunately, they've been ruined by fake reviews, both overly positive and maliciously negative. People leave one-star reviews for minor inconveniences, like a late package, or use reviews as weapons to attack businesses they dislike. This misuse undermines the trustworthiness of the system, making it hard to tell genuine feedback from spiteful or frivolous complaints. Bike paths, traffic calming measures, and pedestrian-friendly urban designs were great ideas that seemed like common sense for areas where they'd be most effective. Instead, politicians hijack these projects for publicity, ignoring obvious needs and local feedback. They waste enormous budgets on unnecessary ventures branded as innovative, leaving the few who benefit from them stuck with poorly maintained infrastructure as funds are squandered on the next flashy project. The media once featured excellent journalists who provided well-researched, balanced reporting to educate the public. Now, with incompetent leadership and a focus on ad revenue instead of quality content, we're left with sensationalism that polarizes societies by aligning itself with political agendas. The concept of homeowners associations. Emotional support animals, ESAs, and service animals are completely different, though many people don't seem to realize it. The rise of fake ESAs has negatively impacted people who rely on legitimate service animals. Only a medical professional can prescribe an ESA, not a website or a fake registry. An ESA isn't permitted in public spaces like a service animal. It simply allows you to have the animal live with you in places where pets wouldn't usually be allowed. Food delivery has become absurd. I tried to pay my friend cash to order pizza, but he couldn't find a way to order without prepaying through an app. This has become the new norm, and people just accept it. Tipping before receiving service. Delivery drivers knowing the tip before accepting the delivery. It's ridiculous. Capitalism has been twisted into a system where the third or fourth generation of clueless heirs inherit businesses their ancestors built. They suppress competition, outsource or automate jobs, hike prices to achieve endless record profits, and then go get government loans. Resource-sharing concepts like car sharing or room sharing through Uber and Airbnb started as simple ideas with massive potential to reshape how people use resources, but greed ruined them. The NHS, once our greatest source of pride as a nation, has been deliberately undermined by successive governments, mainly conservative, leaving it in a state of collapse. Antibiotics are amazing for fighting bacterial infections, but completely ineffective against viruses. Overusing them has led to the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Higher education has changed drastically. In the 1960s, a degree was a ticket to a respected job with perks, like a company car and a corner office. Parents started looking down on blue-collar work and pushed their children toward college. Now, much of the world is overeducated, with far too few elite positions available, leaving many people underemployed. Digital media, including TV, the internet, and video games, can be extremely useful. But in practice, screens have become tools for inducing executive dysfunction, allowing people to avoid truly engaging with life. I've lost so many years to them, it's hard to believe. Online recipe blogs, while charming and personal, often bury the actual recipe beneath endless paragraphs of life stories, reflections on seasons, and pictures of pets dressed as chefs. Scrolling through all this to find a simple baking temperature for chicken thighs can be infuriating, especially on a phone, where your battery drains as you swipe through anecdotes and nostalgia. What was once a wholesome way to share cooking tips has turned into a frustrating challenge, making readers dig through layers of fluff to find the ingredients and steps. It's like taking the simple act of passing down recipes and wrapping it in a literary sweater. Heartwarming, but a nightmare when you're in a rush. Airbnb started as a neat concept for couch surfing or renting out a spare room to save on hotel costs. Unfortunately, it evolved into a platform that reduces housing availability and contributes to housing crises, thanks to its own users. Plastic is an incredibly versatile material, but it's been ruined by careless individuals throwing it away without a second thought. Companies prioritizing profit over sustainability, beauty brands creating microplastics, and governments failing to address the issue.